My name is Atul and on behalf of ISA, I welcome you all to this event. I think Ravi already mentioned what great things ISA does, but a few things that I'd like to add what ISA does is that it creates a sense of community for international students. I was an international student myself many years ago, more than 2 decades ago when I arrived in this country. It was nice to have familiar face to meet at the airport. This is what ISA does here as well, that they go and meet new incoming students at the airport, make them at ease in a new place, new country, new culture. They help them in getting their bank accounts open, get them settled, etc. And above all, create a sense of community. So I'm proud and honored to be associated with this great association. And I'd like to make a few announcements. First of all, I'd like to thank all of you for supporting our association and some sponsors who have provided great support to us. ISO, ISP, and Veritas who have sponsored today's event. And also, I have to make 2 announcements for scholarships. All student members at WSU are invited to apply for 2 scholarships. One is the ISA's own scholarship, and another one is a scholarship that is established in memory of Ashok and Trish Bajaj by Bajaj family. And the deadline for both those scholarships is April 16th. So if you have not already applied, this is to all the students, if you have not applied for this scholarship, please do so. And without further ado, I'd like to welcome Dr. Ravi, Chief Information Officer and Associate Provost at WSU. Thank you.
Thank you, Atul, for that introduction, and good evening to all of you. I've been called many names, but a missile from India was the first one today, so thank you for that new designation. It's a pleasure to be here, and Vasant-2012, as we all know, is a festival that worships Goddesses Saraswati, as well as it signifies the beginning of Vasant-Ritu or spring season. It is believed, and most of us know this, that Goddess Saraswati endows human beings, all of us, with the power of speech, wisdom, knowledge. And in other words, she's about knowledge and learning. So in that spirit, I want to share with you what each one of you, and this is to all the students of Wichita State who are here, from each one of you, what Wichita has learned, what Wichita State has learned, and what I have learned. When you are at Wichita Airport, at Mid-Continent Airport, setting up a table to welcome new students, new shoppers, as they arrive on Wichita State campus, that welcoming smile, that welcoming hug, that welcoming greeting from you means so much to these new students. And you teach each one of us, you teach me the spirit of sacrifice and the spirit of helping others. And each one of us can learn that from you, and I learned that spirit from you. Nicely, each one of you was welcomed. Did they welcome you very nicely? They did, didn't they? Okay. That respect and that courtesy is something that Wichita State and I have learned from each one of you. Many of you might know this, Atiti Deva Bhava. The guest is made in the image of God and should be treated like a God. We don't have to read that in books. The Indian students show that in their actions. The experiential learning opportunity. Working together, I remember last semester you organized an event called Langar, and Prabhajit, who's here, was instrumental in doing that along with many of you. And what was interesting about Langar was, this was where all of the students' families got together and provided free dinner, wonderful dinner. And what was beautiful about it was there were Hindu students involved, there were Muslim students involved, there were all different types of students involved, and the event was held in a church, showing the spirit of togetherness, tolerance. So Wichita State, and I have done that for when I feel down, and all of us do sometimes, even though I may not show it, but when I feel down, all I have to do is just walk across Wichita State campus. And what I see in each one of you is enthusiasm, I see life, I see passion, and I see living. So thank you for teaching me, Wichita and Wichita State, the art of living. Each one of us, you do that every single day with your smile and your enthusiasm and your hard work and everything that you bring to Wichita State, representing your respective countries. Thank you for being a thinker, doer, mover, and a learned and thoughtful shocker. And I would leave you with one quote from Swami Vivekananda, where he said, and I quote, "We are what our thoughts have made us. So take care what each day your thoughts travel, and I learn from each one of you. Wichita learns from each one of you, and Wichita State learns from each one of you." So thank you for being such phenomenal shockers. And if you are wondering about phenomenal shockers, you're in for a treat today. We'll be meeting a wonderful, phenomenal shocker. So let me ask you a few names. Do you know who Greg Marshall is? We all do that, right? Okay. Do you know who Gene Stephenson is? Of course you do. Do you know who Don Beggs is? Of course you do. Don Beggs is our retiring president, outstanding gentleman and human being who's been here for 13 years as our president. And the interesting thing is the person that you're going to meet today, I call him the connector. He has the power to connect all of these people. He has the power to connect Wichita. He connects all of the folks that I mentioned, and he's one of the most well-known persons in Wichita and around the world. He's a member of many boards, too many to mention. He has won significant awards from Wichita State and other places. Many US presidents have reached out to him for help on various. It's my pleasure to welcome my very best friend, my mentor, my conscience, and a person who always turned to, Dr. Eric Sexton, who is the athletic director at Wichita State.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you for inviting me here. What's great about being here tonight in this bright light, like I'm being interrogated by the Gestapo, but one of the things that's great about this is every time I speak in the Department of Athletics, I have to move the mic down. So this is one evening that I don't have to move the mic down, following my very, very good friend, Dr. Pensy. One of the other things that's really great about tonight, and I will tell a little story about Dr. Pensy because he is such a great friend, and let's give him a hand, what he does for our university, what he does for our what he specifically does for me, because it's very special, because periodically some days, I know all of you, do you ever have bad days every once in a while? Yeah, every once in a while you have a bad day. What I like to do is call Dr. Pensy's phone. Because one, he's not going to answer because I'm going to get to what is really important, because he always tells me to have a very peaceful day. Every time, and so many times I'll call it 3 or 4 times if I'm having a bad day. Because I want to have a very peaceful day, and I really appreciate his voicemail. One of the other things is my father, who would really appreciate being here, but he couldn't be here, he told me one thing to do. My father, who I respect greatly, and I know all of you think of your families as being very important, is that he told me that to be sure that my best presentations do not let your jaw outlast everybody's bottom. So I will try to be brief and quick. One of the things is I want to thank all of you and thank the ISA for having me here, and thank you guys for blessing our university with such great talent and great hearts. And Dr. Pensy talked about that. Also, I want to thank all of you for coming and supporting our student athletes. Because what you do, because when they're out there giving their heart and soul, when you come out and support them, as I know there's a group of folks that bring signs and do all that stuff. So appreciate that, because our student athletes appreciate your support, and you are beacons for them. But one of the things that I'd like to always talk about, that I talk to our student athletes about all the time, which is embodied by ISA as well as all of our international students, is the world is bigger than ourselves. And let me say that again, the world is bigger than ourselves. In a time where everybody thinks about I and me and what is important to me, when you all travel across the world to come to Wichita State University to make Wichita State what it is and our community what it is, you embody talking about making this world bigger than itself, because you bring your culture, you bring your values, and you help us see that there are things much bigger than Wichita, Kansas, much bigger than the city of Wichita, much bigger than some of the places where we've been, and educate us and make us grow and stretch to understand that we are not as far apart as we think we are. And the world is bigger than ourselves, and that giving, that support is so important. For my I say my student athletes because I take them personally, the 300 student athletes that we have here, trying to teach them and mold them and have them understand that the world is bigger than that athletic event. It's their colleagues and students across the campus, and you guys help bring that to them, and I really appreciate that, and you deserve a round of applause for helping us. You do that for our community as well, and that's why I'm so excited about being here, because you are the beacon, and I will say it again, you are the beacon for us all understanding that the world is bigger than ourselves, and I thank you for doing that for us. What an honor to be here this evening, and I look forward to a great performances from everybody, and thank you again for the opportunity, and continue to make us believe that the world is bigger than ourselves. Thank you again.